Hi, Saskia. Hi, Gary. How are you?
Good, thank you.
Good to see you. Just a quick reminder, I'm calling you from an undisclosed location, so do not try to, trace this call.
Yeah, it
pretty
looks
secure here.
It does look secure.
Right. Hey, Jack. How are you?
I'm good. How are you?
Good to see you. Since the 2000s, I was such a big fan of series like 24 that, have this big hero like in the 80s, like Jack Bauer is running around everywhere, trying to solve all problems almost by himself. And when I see River, I know that you guys have already made so many comparisons with this series with James Bond, since this is the other side of this glamorous life of James Bond. But I still can see something of the action hero that we see in 24, this side B of this track. I mean, River is kind of this field agent, but is running after his own career most than anything else. How's your take on this perspective of River?
I think that's spot on. I think that's exactly what he is just thinking about his own career. That's what makes this different to the things that you just mentioned. It is about trying to get back to the 20th floor, the better job.
Right.
It's all about sort of professional competition. The group of them in Slough House are incredibly competitive with one another. And I think it's more of a truer reflection of the world of espionage, having met one or two, and they are very competitive people.
Oh, really? Yeah. Okay, nice. Basically, what you're saying is that he wants the Aston Martin, but he's got the yellow Honda.
Got a special place in my heart, that yellow Honda. It really is.
It is.
It's a very underrated car.
Right.
Yeah.
So I love the fact that this series, and you've been talking about how this series is quite the opposite of the glamorous world of James Bond. We don't have the Aston Martins, we have the yellow Hondas, and no martinis, only cheap whiskey. And I have to go back to the very first episode where I have to, just applaud the very best character introduction that I've seen in a while. I know that James Bond has this, probably the most famous character introduction of all time.
Bond. James Bond.
Having Lamb waking up to the sound of his own fart. I mean, that's genius. That's the best. I mean, we know everything we must from this character just like 1 second. What's your take on this, Gary?
Yeah, that was, I've had some introductions over the years. Even the reveal of Dracula, with the shadow moving on the wall. And then, I've had some good ones, but I think this is, it's the best.
Yeah, I agree.
It's complete.
I totally agree. And Saskia, how do you think that, that Standish can just stand with this? I've heard Mick Herron, the writer of the book, saying that, she is the heart of the Slough House, of the whole operation. Everything falls apart without her. So do you think that she's the only one with the at least a little bit of empathy to understand everyone's flaws and to keep them together?
Yes, I think so. She's just doing her best to keep the office running. I think she's so committed to her job, and she is sort of holding on a bit by her fingertips. But I think if she can do this really well, and she can be a very good secretary to Mr. Lamb, then she'll be okay. And I think on some weird masochistic level, she feels she deserves it because she feels like she's messed up so badly in the past. And I think that brings a compassion to her, and to see the people around her that she works with who have also messed up, maybe not as badly as her, but, everyone's done something that they regret. And so there's a sort of shared experience. And I think she's very willing to embrace that and to be kind, because everyone would rather not be there and or be bossed around by Mr. Jackson Lamb. And I also think on a darker level, how would they survive if she wasn't there? Because they would just be completely in the line of fire the whole time.
Right.
At least she can make sure there's things in the kitchen for them to eat and drink when things get really bad. Or this shouldn't be in here.
I think probably, thinking about it now, we've discussed, I don't know how nice Jackson Lamb is. probably think he's not very nice, but if there is an act of kindness, it was getting you over. Not leaving you, because he runs Slough House. It's his baby, and he obviously decides who comes in and who works and who doesn't, or who feeds through. And that, I think, well, he's loyal, even if he's not very nice. He's certainly, but that I think recruiting you and saving you in that sense is an act of kindness. Because without being busy, you would probably hit the bottle again, wouldn't you? And yeah.
I mean, I've just had another thought, which is he is protecting on some weird level all of us from MI5, Tierney and Taverner, who are the real abusers, actually.
Despicable people.
Who are, and they've crashed the lives of everybody in that office in some shape or form.
What I love about the series is just the fact that the spies, they don't have gadgets, they have flaws. So as an actor, I think this is much more interesting to explore, right?
Yes. Flaws are more attractive for actors than gadgets, definitely. They are gadgets to actors. We feed off them. So it would not be as interesting if he didn't have any flaws. It would be very boring.
And you mentioned once that what you learn about MI5, speaking of boring, is the real thing is very boring. Like the most work that we see on the movies or TV, they're full of action and stuff. That's not even 1% of what happens in real life, right?
The line we were told is that there's so much paperwork than you see in the movies. I think there's a lot of, probably more so now these days, is that there's a lot more red tape and regulations, and they have to be so careful about, what diplomatic tightropes they walk. It's not as easy it was back in the day.
And lastly, I wanted to ask you about, I know how much Lamb is a difficult character and it's tough to get a compliment out of him. What would you think that a good Lamb compliment will be to his slow horses?
I think the closest you get is sort of, I thought you were dead. I think that's probably the closest that you'll get from Lamb.
So, Gary, you talked about other classic introductions of your characters during your career, and I had to bring out something that is very powerful to me. I mean, like Tom Cruise can run like no one else on screen, I think that no one else can shout like Gary Oldman. I mean, since Leon the Professional with the Everyone and all other great scenes that we have from you. It's like it's a force of nature. No one can do that like Gary. Do you think that Lamb has any energy in his spirit to bring us like at this classical Gary Oldman shout?
I don't know yet. I don't know yet. I mean, the thing you bring up, Leon, that was a joke just for the director.
Oh, really?
I played the scene when the guy said to me, what do you mean? And I just turned to him and I said, everyone. And I had quite a funny relationship with Luke. We made each other laugh in between takes, and he's quite a funny guy. And we enjoyed each other's humor. And I said to the sound man, I'm going to do this one just for Luke and make him laugh. And I said, so be careful of your ears because it's going to be really loud. And I just turned and did, everyone. Just to really, it was a joke. It was a gag. And he kept it in the film.
Thank God for that. Thank God for that.
Yeah, but that's where the sort of really that came from. It was really me just messing around. But he liked it and he kept it in. But yeah, there's probably a fury in Lamb somewhere, yeah. But I'm hesitant to show it.
Thank you so much, guys. Right. Remember that we have never talked. I was never here.
You were never here. Yes.
So, Jack, thank you so much.
No worries. Thank you.
Don't worry. Bye-bye.
There's a traitor right at the top. He has unfinished business.